Hi everyone, this is Aegis, and this is one of the few games that I have from the JHU IAC KSA StarCraft 2 2v2 tournament. The name just got slightly longer. This here is Calc, the red Terran player, and his partner is going to be the blue Terran player, Penguin. And on the other side, we have Water Bob, the orange Zerg player, and his ally, Francis Suo, the purple Protoss player. And we're going to be spawning here on the Tarsonis Assault, one of the old 2v2 ladder maps. We'll see if these players can pull out some interesting strategies to be able to win this game. Protoss does have the option of putting a pylon over here and warping 4 warp gates worth of units right here if the Terran does not spot well. Same deal on this side. You can put a pylon here or a pylon down here. It doesn't really matter. You can see onto these two grounds are actually even, so you can just see across that crevice very easily. Looks like Water Bob is going to be grabbing his gas first, and then he'll be getting a pool shortly. 3 more drones popping right there. Looks like Francis Suo is over here starting to zap away at the SCV. Looks like Calc is going to overreact and pull off 2 SCVs to do the counterattack. Looks like Penguin is grabbing his gas as well as throwing up his first barracks. Francis Suo, I'm not too sure why he's walling off over here. He is against 2 Terran opponents. There's no sense in walling off. That means you have to run your probe all the way down here to actually build a building when you could easily throw it down here and then run back to your mineral line. There's Water Bob throwing up his spawning pool. It's about halfway complete. A second barracks is on the way for Calc right now. The worker battle is still commencing here. Still no orbital command. I am not too sure what's up with this build. He needs to get an orbital command right away. We'll see if he decides to do that real soon. His ally, Penguin, has gotten his orbital command already. Red still not getting his orbital command. The speed getting started for Water Bob over here, and the Cybernetics core is on its way. A second gateway being thrown down. No first Zealot. Gonna skip that and go ahead and get a second gateway. Overlords are repositioning themselves all across the map to make sure they have adequate spotting. There's 2 workers spotting at the Zelnaga watchtower. There's one that's actually doing some real spotting. There's the workers starting to do the worker chase. Again, there's a ping from a spectator, I assume. No, I'm not sure who pinged that. I guess probably Penguin pinged it just to make sure that no pylons are getting built to scout around inside the map. There's a Marine that's going to be spotting over there. Looks like the Overlord is moving. It's slow, but over here onto the side. Penguin building a supply depot over here. I guess they do know about the intricacies of playing against Protoss on this map. A second gas is going up. The third gateway is on its way, and another pylon. Warp gate research not getting chrono boosted, just working on getting a ton of workers. Over here, Water Bob is finishing up speed, still continuing to drone up. The vomit going down. A couple of Zerglings now coming out onto the field. It looks like Penguin has thrown up a tech lab and a reactor is on its way as well. Over here on the Calc side, he's got a little bit more tech, getting up a 3rd barracks right now, so we might be seeing some heavy infantry pushing. There's the worker chase continuing to move around the map. A Stalker is going to be able to pick off that SCV if he is not careful, and it does go down. Calc loses 1 SCV, the first loss of this game, I believe. Maybe Penguin canceled something, not too sure. We're going to continue to look around, and another barracks is being constructed by Penguin. He's going to have the slightly better economy in comparison to Calc, who got his orbital command quite a bit late. There's the Zerglings advancing forward. We'll see if these 2 players decide to do some 4 warp gate action. There's a robotics. Nope, no 4 warp gate. A robotics facility is coming up. He could actually get 4 warp gates and then use a warp prism to do a Zealot rush, but that appears not to be the case. There is the lair coming up. No expansion from Zerg as of yet. This is actually quite standard in 2v2. And there's an engagement that the Protoss and Zerg are for sure gonna lose. That Stalker is not gonna get away. Should have just turned around and tried to get a couple extra shots off. And here comes the advance forward from Calc and Penguin. Their combined Marine Marauder force is very scary. Their opponents are gonna have to hold this off in order to survive, obviously. But they don't have that many units right now. It's 10 Banelings morphing right now, 8 Zerglings in the production queue, and Immortal is also on its way. 4 Stalkers over here. They need to reposition their armies. We'll see where they decide to go. Looks like they're going to split up and just play a 1v1 style. No, just going to come over here with one Marine going to be chasing over here. Looks like Francis Suo is going to be slightly more patient before engaging. Here comes the Zerglings from the backside, going to be trying to nibble away at these Marines and Marauders. And there are the Banelings, going to be dealing massive amounts of damage, taking out most of the Marine Marauder forces. Looks like Francis Suo just barely lost one pylon. The Zerg did sacrifice a large number of his forces, but looks like the Terran players are quite a bit behind right now. Looks like Francis Suo is going to have to come over here and try to help his ally. Going to lose the Queen. Is he going to lose the Queen? There's the Queen with 19 HP. 2 HP left now. Looks like the Queen does go down. The Zergling's not quite able to save it. Francis Suo not in time. There's a second Queen being produced right now. More Zerglings going to be spotting at the Xel'Naga Watchtower. There's also Francis Suo with his probe over here and his pylon going to be doing some spotting action. The Marines and Marauders have continued to spawn over here. A factory and a spaceport or a starport coming up right now. Looks like they're going to be switching over to maybe medevac production over here, and a expansion is on the way for Calc. After holding off that push, Francis Suo and his ally Water Bob have decided to start their expansions. Gonna get those up slightly before both of these players. Looks like they're gonna go for another attack. Big Marines Marauders are gonna be moving forward. Looks like the probe over here will be able to spot that move out. Gonna be moving along this path. So Protoss will know about this. Should be able to reposition his army in a way that is favorable. There is the factory going to be doing some scouting action around. There's the army going to reposition itself. Not quite enough repositioning action over there. Here's the Penguin and Calc moving forward once again. Huge numbers of Marines and Marauders. I'm not sure where those Marines and Marauders are going. Here comes the pullback, a scan going down. Are there Banelings ready? Gonna try to do the crunch in action from the backside. Will they be able to hold this off? It's another scan going down. And here comes the Marines and Marauders. Those Zerglings and Banelings ought to be moving forward. Goes down the sim. Moving forward, gonna be picking off a Stalker, losing both Immortals right from the outset of the battle. There comes the Banelings from the backside. Just a tad too late, gonna take out the majority of Blue's army, but it's not quite enough. Calc still has a majority of his Marines and Marauders, and they still do have Stimpack. There's another round of units over here. More Zerglings trying to get produced. Aspire is on its way. Francis Suo and his ally Waterbrob are definitely gonna lose their expansions. Can they hold on? Looks like Calc has finished his expansion and is floating out. There's the 2 Stalkers trying to do some damage over there. Calc is going to continue to move over here. He still has Stimpack and can continue to stim up and destroy these units at a rapid pace. All the probes getting pulled off from Francis Suo, and it looks like he's going to lose the majority of his workers. It does look like he's got a pretty good surround over here on Calc. He's going to discontinue attack and pull back to mining. He's going to lose this pylon over here, probably lose his robotics bay as well. Here comes forward a bunch of Banelings. They do have speed, going to be taking out the majority of these Marines and Marauders, but it's not quite enough. GG calls Francis Suo, and this game goes to Calc and his ally Penguin. Well, we're just going to wait for Water Bob for a second. Looks like he's just going to be content to lose a couple of drones before quitting out, and they have left the game. I can't quit. Alright, so this game does go to Calc and Penguin.